Hey everyone, okay, so today I thought we would do an eyeshadow tutorial that isn't overly complicated. So we're not going to be using 19 different shades and cutting the crease. I want to kind of show you that sometimes the most beautiful looks is quite simply one or two eyeshadows. And we're going to put some lashes on and just make it look great. And I'm a big fan of just keeping things very, very simple. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take a small amount of kind of a concealer, and I'm just going to kind of pop it onto the eyelid. And I'm doing this just to clarify the eyelid because I'm not going to be using anything really above the eyelid. So into the crease, we're not going to use anything at all there. So I just want to clarify it to brighten it up slightly. And then we're going to just set it with a bit of loose powder or pressed powder in this case. So just going to just sweep it over and just kind of set it. And this just gives a general brightening effect to the eye because it kind of, you've got more light going to it. Okie dokie. So what's the next thing that we're going to do? We're going to apply an eyeshadow. But first, I'm actually going to just clarify that eyelid a little bit more. Because I just want to make sure that that eyelid is bright and kind of open, but at the same time that it's still blending in with the rest of my skin tone, that it's not floating out there, which is why I clarified it with that shadow, but then I went back in with a small amount of the same color of the mineral foundation that I've actually got on for this video. So the next thing we're going to do is pick an eyeshadow. Now I'm going to use my tourmaline eyeshadow palette, and I'm actually going to use the burgundy, the lighter burgundy shade in the palette, because I think that's going to look really, really nice against my eyeshadow color. My eye color, because my eye color is green, but burgundy suits everybody. And I'm going to just use this as a really light wash to begin with, because I don't quite know yet how far I want to take it. So I don't want to go in with a lot of intensity to begin with, because I might like this kind of wash of color rather than, building it up into a very strong color. So let's have a look. That's quite nice, but I'm gonna build it up just a little. Why not? And there is something really nice, something really beautiful about using one eyeshadow color over your entire lid and not much else. And if you're my age group or above, you'll probably know that your mother or grandmother, pretty much way back when, most people didn't go into the crease of the eye, they just used the lid space. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, it's a great way of applying eyeshadow, it really is. So I'm just going to go over it again, because I love this color so much that I just want to make it a little bit more, I want to make it a bit deeper. And then I'm just going to go back in with that mineral foundation I used. You can use whatever eyeshadow you were using, but I'm just going to kind of re-go over here, because if you have eyelids that are a little older or a little looser, I just want to make sure that the bulk of the color really was on the lid and we're not entering the crease at this point. And I like that. I think that looks nice. I mean, it's one single color. If you want to pack it on more, you can absolutely do that. You could use a flat brush if you wanted, or you can just use your crease brush, which is what I prefer to do, and just re-go over to get the intensity that you want. So we could highlight the inner corner of the eye, absolutely, but I think I'm going to highlight it with concealer. So I'm actually going to use the same mineral foundation again, because harmony, and I'm just going to go in with a slightly heavier hand right here on the inner corner, just to lighten this area up. And then kind of just kind of wiggle it slightly like this, just so that it kind of softly starts to go onto the eyelid. And then underneath the eye, I'm just going to clarify, because I don't want to go underneath the eye with eyeshadow. So anything that may have gone onto that lid, I'm just going to kind of clean up. And you'll see in a minute, right? I know it's so basic, but sometimes basic is the best way. And you'll see when the lashes are on that it still looks incredibly dramatic. It really does, because there's something great about the contrast of a dark lid with a light crease, if that makes sense. I primed my eyelid and I'm not a big fan of this. And there's nothing wrong with it. I just find that it makes eyeshadows harder to get any payoff with. I use the Mario Master Prep and Set in light. I really like it very much, but I do find that it can just make the eyeshadow just a little bit harder, in my opinion, to apply. But it does do a great job at clarifying. It absolutely does. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to deal with the brow at the end, and we're now going to move on and add some lashes to create that oomph. Okay, so lashes time. I'm obviously going to use LASHIFY, and I'm actually going to use B12, which look like this. Just this beautiful, gorgeous creation. And I think that's going to be absolutely perfect for what I want to achieve with this really quite subtle look. I love, there was this incredible poster, editorial years ago with Isabella Rossellini in, and it was advertising, I think it was it Tresson or something like that. It was a perfume, and she just had one single eyeshadow color on, and it was so nice. So, you know, a homage to her. Okay, so now we're going to start with LASHIFY. So I'm going to be using the Whisper Light Flexible Bond, and I'm going to pick the black end of it because I want to get some drama in the lashes. So I'm just going to move my mirror a bit closer, and I'm going to pick it up because my eyelash is quite short, and I'm just going to comb it through like this. And this is just going to ensure that the lashes that I'm going to apply adhere to my own lashes so that they are stuck on there. They're not stuck on forever. I think a lot of people think that they're going to be very difficult to take off, and they're actually incredibly easy to take off. You literally soak them. LASHIFY have this solution. You just soak it in, hold it to the eye for about 10 seconds, pull, and all the lashes come off. So I'm going to use the tweezers, and that's how they look. And it's just this incredible system of pulling up your eyelid and attaching it to the lashes. There you go. And then you fuse it together. You can fuse them as you go along, but I really think it's better to do it kind of at the end because you can get too much glue on the actual tweezer. When I say glue, it isn't glue, it's the bond. So don't be panicking. Look how good that looks. LASHIFY is quite simply, if you have hooded eyes, it is your best friend. You would be disgusted if you knew how many sets of these I have, because they just, every time I put these on someone, they all go, because it's that powerful. What lashes can, you know, what you can achieve with just lashes. I might do a video with just lashes and a clarified eye. I think that would look really cool. So when you get, if you have quite a small eye, when you get to this inner portion, I always think it's better to err on the side of caution. Rather than go too close, I think you're better off kind of just going near it, but not quite, if that makes sense. Because you don't want it to be so close that it's too close in. On the outside corner, I'm going to just apply a touch more of the Whisper Light Bond to the underside here, because I'm just going to stack. I want to add a tiny bit more gorgeousness to that outside corner of the eye, because I just think, you know, that outside corner, I mean, can it ever be too dark and yummy? I mean, I don't think so. I'm actually going to add one more, because why not? Just one more, just slightly overlapping it, and then just slightly onto the other lash. And we've got this incredible product in here that I'm going to show you in a second. So any excess bond that you've got on the lashes, you can comb it through. Look at that, you see how they apply? And that just gives you instant wow factor with the eye. And you've done nothing. You've put one single eyeshadow on, that's it. One single eyeshadow, and you put lashes on. So I'm going to take off these rubber ends, just like that. You don't have to, but I like to. And now I'm going to go in and I'm going to press and fuse these lashes with mine. Just press and fuse. And depending on what bond you used and how kind of much pressure you put on this kind of fusing portion will determine how long they last. Because these can last anywhere from 1 day, because you're going to take them off, to 10 days. So they can really, really last. Look how good that looks. It's just bright. The eye is opened up. You've got that gorgeous whisper of colour on the lashes, on the eyelash. I can't even speak, on the eyelid. And then there's just nothing else. Just these incredible, dark, beautiful lashes. So you also get this product called Glass. Now Glass is great because it just combs through the lashes, gives them a glossy effect, but takes away any excess residue of bond that's just on the ends. Because if you're a little bit kind of clumsy like I am, you know, that can happen. And this just gives them that kind of lustrous kind of feel. I'm just going to look at that. I just think that looks great. It's nothing but eyelashes and one single eyeshadow colour. And that is it, right? It's simple, but it's still quite dramatic at the same time. And I know we were just going to do one eyeshadow, but I'm just going to take a little touch of the Celestial shade, which is this gold, and I'm just going to really lightly just wash it over the lid, just to give it a little sparkle, just a little tiny glimmer of something. And I'm just going to take that Glass again and just comb through the lashes, because I just want to make sure, because I am heavy-handed, that none of that Celestial, you know, is in the lashes. I can comb it through. See, there you have it. Let's just zoom out slightly. All I ever see when I look in the mirror is my red ears. You know, that's all I see. But there you have it. It's simple, like me. Very simple, but dramatic. Single eyeshadow, maybe two if you want to go for that kind of celestial effect, or another colour, whatever takes your fancy. But it's subtle and yet still dramatic, because you have the darkness of the eyeshadow colour that is many shades deeper than the rest of the remaining skin around the eye. So that in itself makes the eye stand out. And then you've got LASHIFY with these beautiful lashes that are just fluttering around there, giving again that dark contrast between lash and the rest of the eye. So you've got that light and dark contrast, which is what we've done here. And I love it. I think it's really, really pretty. And if you wanted to, you could take this pretty much instantly into an evening look. Absolutely. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. Now, all the links on all this stuff is in the description bar. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you watching. I really do. Thank you. And I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye. And just to kind of show you really quickly, right, how simple it is to take something and make it more dramatic. Take a light shade. So I'm going to use the lightest in my tourmaline palette and just apply it to the brow bone. And then just kind of blend it in, because I don't like the brow bone to be too strong. Then take a tissue, outside corner of the eyelid to the outside corner of the eye. Take a shade that makes you happy, knock off the excess, go straight into the crease of the eye, just so that it meets the brow highlight just before. Go in, connect the outside corner. And when you're connecting the outside corner, make sure you're getting right that very, very bottom corner. Bring it in, bleed it out. Voila, you've got straight up into the crease. You've made it more dramatic. You want to make it even more dramatic? I'm going to take the deepest shade in my tourmaline palette. I'm just going to go right back in by matching it up. Then I'm going to take the darker color and concentrate that on this outside corner and just up into the crease a bit. And bring it onto the lid. Just let go. And you can make it as dramatic or as subtle as you want. You could connect it underneath if you wished. I'm not going to for this video, but it isn't hard to make things, you know, more dramatic if you want to. It can be done really easily. You just need to know that what it is you're trying to achieve. So with me and my eyes, I'm always trying to pull them out slightly more. And I'm always trying to bring the contour color up or the mid-tone color up high enough so that it's visible when my eye is looking straight forward. That makes sense. And then you could just go to town with the celestial shade and just wash that over the eyelid just to give it a little bit of gorgeous, glamorous sparkle. So you can see we did that very subtle look, and then we quite literally took the eyeshadow, another deeper one, we took a tissue so we could get our angle, and then we finished. It really is, I think people and YouTube videos in general, they can make eyeshadow work seem really complicated, but once you know how to do your eye, it really isn't that difficult at all, I promise. And I'm not an artistic person in the slightest. Can't draw, can't do any of that stuff. But once you figure out where the placement is of things, whether it's lashes or angles, once you've got that, you can absolutely do something. I promise you can. There you go. We've gone from day to night, or from night to day, depending on your look and preference. There you go. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.